Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 59 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. I've been working on a little bit of Britannia automation. So the last couple episodes have seen a few things happening, right? I worked on this crazy monstrosity, which is actually, in my opinion, pretty darn cool. I'm proud of it. The reason I'm proud of it is because it's going to monitor the fullness of these drawers. And if any one of these pedals are low, right? What's going to happen is it's going to deactivate the high frequency redstone signal of 15, like so, and it's going to turn off the redstone signal on red, and it's going to start blinking the redstone signal on green. And you're probably wondering why I'm doing that. Well, maybe you are, maybe you're not. I guess it depends on how familiar with Britannia you are. Yeah. So, what I'm going to do next is actually implement a system that uses all that blinking. It's kind of backwards from what I would normally do. I guess I would normally build the system that's going to use all the blinking and then go from there, but we're good. We'll figure it out. So let's do that. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it when that thing does what I'm doing. It's just the best for me. Dirt. Another stack, please. Oh, it's glorious. I guess left click doesn't do it. Oh, that would be so cool if it did. I might even want this to be like the walls and stuff too. Could be dirt. That would be neat looking, right? I mean, I've got the dirt for it, right? Oops, I got gold by mistake. Let's bump it up to 5x5 though, just so we're... Beautiful. Even the ceiling can be dirt. Dirt, all the things. Another half stack and we should be in good shape. Put away all this stone that we're getting here, and we're cool. So, that's step one. We've got this guy. All right, now he needs mana to run. The Jaded Amaranthus, right? So given mana, he will start running. Given a redstone signal, he will stop running, and we're going to demonstrate that pretty much right now. I'm just going to put a lever right here. And we're going to get some mana from a mana pool. So, let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. And watch what happens. Oh, we're making more living stone. I love it. I love it when things work the way they're supposed to. We've got our Wand of the Forest. Good. We've got a mana tablet. Good. Let's see. You are sitting at a decent amount. We're going to drop the mana tablet in there. That's going to fill that guy up. I'm thinking my mana... This dude will be where my mana pool lives. Okay. And we'll let that thing kind of like fill up all the way. Now you, see, are not bound to a mana pool. When I do that... It's going to start randomly planting in this area of effect these nifty little flowers. How cool is that? And if we don't want it to plant flowers anymore, we simply give it a redstone signal. And boom, it stops planting flowers. That's what the red signal is going to do. Over, yoink, here-ish. Wherever that... There it is. That's what that steady on signal is going to be. When the drawers are full, emit a steady signal on the red conduit line. And we will be turning off the flower. So that's step one. Cool. So step one complete. We now have an automated method of doing what we want to do. The next thing I need to do is... Do I have access to those flowers in Living Rock and Living Wood, by the way? I don't seem to. So let's get an external storage bus. So the one thing we have is a problem that we frequently run into in refined storage. And that is, if we're trying to keep this thing stocked, if I put an external storage bus on here, it's going to be able to pull the Living Rock and Living Stone out of there in order to fulfill the request to keep it full. And that kind of stinks. It's not what we want to see. So... Unless there's some kind of like forced crafting mechanic of the export bus that's been added at some point. Nope. So I'm gonna have to figure out a solution to that because I've yet to find one. But for now, we're just not gonna hook up an export bus or an external storage bus thing. So that's cool. What we want to make now is a drum. So there's several drums that are available. If we go to our index here, there's Drum of the Wild. It's like the Horn of the Wild, which breaks down tall grass and flowers, but it works in world. So all we have to do is give it a mana burst, and it will trigger a beat and drop any nearby stuff. So in order to make this, we're going to need some living wood. So yeah, let's make Drum of the Wild. Yes, I know. Drum of the Wild. Horn of the Wild. So we're going to need a pasture seed, which means we're going to need grass, which means we're going to need shears. Come here, you. Okay. And so Drum of the Wild. One more of these. So this is the Horn of the Wild, which works just like the drum, but it's an item you can hold in your hand. And it's great because it like clears tall grass away really well. Beautiful, right? And we're going to basically make a block that is the same mechanic in world. So I need leather. ×2. We're doing pretty good on leather. And you can make Drum of the Wild. Nice. Now what happens is when this guy receives a mana burst, which by the way, can I have my mana tablet back? Thanks, buddy. He's going to... I'm going to want some more dirt while I'm here. He's going to receive a mana burst and he will break stuff. One thing I want to make sure of is that you can break it as far away as that. It might need to go... I might wind up putting him... I wonder if it'll work above one level. Like if I put the drum there, and then I put... We're going to need a mana spreader. Okay. Spreader... A basic mana spreader requires any petal and a gold ingot. But I'm also going to want a piece of redstone, because I want to make a pulse mana spreader. So we'll use yellow. Doesn't really matter. Zoinks. Now, a pulse mana spreader only runs when it receives a redstone signal. So that's what the green path is going to be. And putting this here, he should get mana. Nice. You can see he's full of mana. Awesome. Now, whenever he receives a redstone signal, check this out. Oh, that's what's up. Nice. And then another pulse. Beautiful. So he can hit in this corner, which means if he can hit this corner, he can hit every other corner, which means he can hit this whole area. So that drum is going to work to break all of our petals, which is what we want. So basically, what we're going to do is set this up so that a pulse will fire from the mana spreader every so often, right? And that's going to be your green pulse. So when everything's full, we're emitting a redstone signal to stop the Jaded Amaranthus from planting more flowers on the red channel. When things are not full, we're going to let the Jaded Amaranthus plant, and every 3 seconds, we're going to pulse that mana spreader, which is going to break flowers. Pulse the mana spreader, break flowers. That's going to keep happening and keep happening and keep happening until everything is full. Once all the drawers are full, we will stop pulsing and we will stop planting. How cool is that? All right. The next thing we need to do is pick up all these flowers, right? So we're going to want... What are we going to want? I don't know what the range on this dude is. The ranged collector. Ranged... Because we need something that can pick up items through blocks. Actually, additions manual. 6 blocks around it. In an area of 6 blocks around it. So is that a radius of 6 blocks? Because if so, then that's cool, right? Let's make one of those, if we may. Boink. Ranged collector. So we're going to need iron casing, check. And then we're going to need... Did I never teach you how to make the coal thing? Nothing stops an episode dead like not having the recipe for a void crystal ready. Void crystal. Wrong void crystal. There you go. So you are allowed to pick up void crystals, but you need to be told void crystals can be crafted like so. And that's all we need to do, if I remember correctly. And you're allowed to pick up void crystals. Nice. Beautiful. That's what I want to see. So let's go test putting this underneath the flower, maybe? Maybe 2 blocks underneath the flower? Oh, I didn't want to break both of those. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Because ultimately we're going to have this dude here, right? So let's get another lever here. This is where the actual wire is going to run. Now if I have a void or a ranged collector here, okay, we're going to make it an empty blacklist for now. Can you pick up items in this corner? That's the test. Yes. Ooh, well that's awesome. That is winning right there. 1, 2, 3. You should pick all of them up, right? Nice. Dude, that's perfect that works. Perfect. Because that means we now have a method of collecting things, all right? But what are we picking up? We're picking up flowers. Right. We want to turn them into petals, correct? Before we filter them into the basic drawers. So, we're going to need to build a system where we're going to convert those from one to the other, okay? So let's put this stuff away for the time being. So A, I'm probably going to want to refill my mana tablet. And B, we're probably going to want to get item conduits. Probably going to need more of those. Let's just make a stack. Not a problem with the resources I have at this point. And what I want to make to do this is a crafter from RF Tools. Tier 1 crafters can support 2 recipes, Tier 2 crafters can support 4, and Tier 3 crafters can be taught 8 different recipes. There's 16 different flowers. So this works perfectly if we make 2 Tier 3 crafters. Cool. So we're going to want 2 machine frames. We're going to want 2 Tier 1 crafters, and that means we're going to need some crafting tables. Oh, look, I've got a lot of crafting tables now. Totally did that on purpose. No, I really did. Just so I have them for crafting recipes later. So Tier 2 crafters, and then Tier 3 crafters. Boom, 2 Tier 3 crafters. We're also going to want the extra utilities thing that gives me a little bit of power, because these things do consume power for their crafting. Okay. What I'm probably going to need next is one of each flower type. So let's do that. I'm going to put my cables away. My redstone comparators I don't think I need anymore. My acceleration wand is cool. I don't need this exporter because I was just testing. This thing can go away for a minute. I want to put everything away that I don't really need in my inventory at the moment because I'm about to pick up 16 different types of items, right? So I need to have all of my inventory space as free as possible. I think that's enough. So let's allow you to run for a minute. And that's pretty cool, right? I love it. I love it when things work. So let's come back in a minute when I'm ready to do the next stage of this, after I have all the different flower types. And we're back. So, I've got my crafters here, and I placed them right underneath this transmitter that's feeding the controller I set up a couple episodes ago. So, they hit. Nice. So these guys are both getting power. So now, all we gotta do is teach it all the different flower types, right? So, like, let's start simple. We'll do white, orange, magenta, light blue, yellow, lime, pink, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gray. Gray, 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 gray. Cool. And then you will be responsible for light gray, cyan, it looks like, purple, blue, brown, green, red, and black. Cool. So these things are pretty easy. I don't know, have we used them throughout this series? I've used them before, obviously. I don't know if we've used them on this series, so I want to make sure I explain it to you guys who might be seeing it for the first time. These 8 rows up here are the different recipes, and we can double click to edit it, and it's really pretty straightforward. Like, you just, and I'm going to say on to activate redstone. That's pretty much what we want. Because I don't want it running yet. So you just basically put your recipe in here, like this is your 3x3 crafting recipe, and hit apply. Cool. And then you go down the line. These options, you can choose whether all the items in the input slots are consumed, or keep one item in every input slot, all is fine. And then where the result of the crafting operation will go, external, internal, or external C. External means that when it's done crafting, the mystical orange petal will go to the output slot, which is these four. Internal means when the orange petal is done crafting, it'll go to the input slots, in case you need to use this for another recipe that's further down the line. So like if, you know, we did this with axes, didn't we? So yeah, same kind of concept. You guys are familiar with that, right? And external C, this is for things like buckets, right? But we're going to keep it external, right? So white, orange, magenta, apply. You apply. Yeah, we did that for axes when we did the tree farm, didn't we? Which, by the way, I need to get another tree farm up and going at some point. Cool. So the other thing I want to do is say block off all these slots and hit the remember button so that it remembers what items go here, right? So that way there's always a spot in the inventory for the different types of flowers that are going to go in here. And that's also going to block the wrong types of flowers from going in this one and instead allow them in this one. And we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to remember all the flower types. Boom. Okay. And then each recipe down the line. So you apply. And because these are, you know, vanilla crafting grid recipes, it doesn't matter if you put 6 in your hand or if you put 3 in your hand, whatever, when you're making the recipe. See? I want to make sure you're right there. Brown, apply. Green, apply. Red, apply. Black, apply. Cool. So then we're going to run item conduits. Straight across to this bad boy. Okay, you're going to be set to extract always active. By the way, I put a lime flower in here, and I told it to ignore metadata and NBT, which means it should pick up all kinds of flowers. Nice. So watch what happens now. We're going to... And you guys are all going to come out of here. All right, we're going to turn off our redstone signal mode so that it runs all the time, right? Watch what happens. When I drop these cyan flowers, they should be picked up by the collector. Probably not close enough. Cyan flowers picked up by the collector. Poof. And then they should land in one of these spots and automatically turned into... Oh, right, I have to set these to insert mode. Insert and... insert. So whichever one had cyan in it, that one, turn those two into mystical cyan petals. How cool is that? Loving it. All right, so the next stage will be to run this stuff all the way up across. And you're going to be on the brown channel, because why not? So you're going to be insert brown. And you're going to run... That's fine. Straight over to here. Hey, you. Go where I tell you. And connect to these guys. These are going to be changed to in out, insert green, extract brown, always active. And that's going to pull those petals out of there, right? Insert green, extract brown, always active. Cool. So watch what happens, right? We've got currently 10 white petals. I'm going to go pretend, or I'll even plant these, right? When the mana burst occurs, it'll pick those up, it'll send them all into the thing, and then over here we'll wind up with 20 white petals. How cool is that? I'm loving it, right? So let's go dump our inventory for a minute. Right? And because I put a filter on this, it won't pick up items that aren't flowers. So for example, those levers won't get picked up. And if we come over here, we should see many flowers. Nice. The petals are all doing their thing. That, my friends, is pretty much, I want to say, a completed build. If I'm not mistaken, I think we're good here. I'm very thrilled. So all I need to do now is run the following. I have to hook up this mana spreader to get his redstone signal. And you might be able to live like with the redstone signal coming up here. Okay, and what we'll do is, I probably have range here? Yeah, I do. Nice. Okay, insulated redstone. You're going to be green on the east direction. Okay, that's the pulse, right? The every few seconds pulse thing. And we're going to run that down here. And you're the red signal, which I'm now going to put the lever here. I've had to move this lever 3 times now. And let's make sure, yeah, you don't seem to connect, so that's good. Because I think if that's receiving a redstone signal, it doesn't pick up items. So you're going to come down here, connect to this dude, and run all the way across to here. Technically, what I should be doing, just to make this a little bit nicer, I should really have this come across and be on the same line as the item conduits, just to save some space, right? So we'll just run this like that. Does that sound cool? That looks better, right? And these are ignoring a redstone signal, so whether or not the redstone cables connect to them doesn't matter. So we'll let this come across here, and we'll just put this guy here for the time being. And you will be green. Okay, so that is cool. So watch this now, right? If I were to remove that lever, see, nothing's happening right now because I've got those levers going over there. Now this is going to be a little tricky to demonstrate, but we're going to do our best. Let's turn off one of these levers, like the green one. And what that should do is get this thing started. Okay. It turned off the thing, and then we should be getting a redstone pulse every now and then. Doesn't look like the pulse is happening. It might not respect that. It is pulsing. We can see it pulsing. You're set to green. So let's do this. There we go. Cool. And that pulse can probably happen on a longer frequency. So let's make it like a 5-second pulse or something like that. I don't think I have my screwdriver. I can get it though. Five-second pulse, right? So I'm going to turn this off for a minute. So when it's full, it stops planting flowers and it stops doing pulses. How cool is that? Loving it. So you can get covered up there. I mean, guys, seriously. Is this cool or what? So in theory, if I turn off all these levers, these guys will be letting me know how full they are based on the drawer fullness. Cool. And what I might do, just for demonstration purposes, is get some redstone lamps ×4. Just because they're easy enough to get. Let's take a quick nap because it's getting dark out. And I'm going to hook these lights up outside just to kind of show when each drawer is full, right? So we could do like 1, 2... Why are you... Oh, because you're touching the thing. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll do red, green, brown, blue, and that'll connect here. Hello. Oh, right, because you're emitting a signal of any kind, right? It needs to be at 15. I'm not, yeah, it's all good. I'm not going to worry about that then. So these guys are all working. We can measure with this thing, the Super Circuit Maker dude. the multimeter, right? So this guy's coming in at power level 51, 34, 102, 85, right? And those are indicative of how full each of these drawers are. And they're totally filling up. We can see it. So I think this is going to work. Let's give it some time, and I will come back in a few minutes after he's kind of done his thing. And if I really wanted to, I could acceleration wand this thing, I would imagine. Nice. Obviously, I want to put some... You know what? While this is going, I'm going to go put some like, stuff up. Ethereal glass should be easier to get our hands on these days because moonstones are now craftable in extra utilities. Lunar dust is lapis and a resonator, huh? Do we have any further speed upgrades? We totally have some speed upgrades that we could throw in this thing. All right, that might be a little bit much. 128. That's probably what we can handle until I get some better options. So ethereal glass might be cool. Do we have any moonstones? We have one. All right, so let's make another one. Boom. And then ethereal glass. Reverse ethereal glass. That's one option. Or we could do like the fake glass stuff because I would like it to be see-through. I want it to be the see-through one. Does that exist in extra utilities? It's ineffable glass. Right. Thickened glass. That's what we're going to want. Let's get like a stack of this stuff. Pop down to our... this dude. And then we can speed that up. See? How cool that is. And then ineffable glass. It's good stuff. So that's 16. Let's get like 32 of it if we can. And we can set this up right here, right? And ineffable glass lets players, but nothing else pass through. Plus it looks super awesome. Neat. Cool. I might even want to mute what's in there. So let's get a sound muffler. Which should be easy enough to get, you would think. What was that recipe for wood? I don't even know. Wood. It's funny, it feels like every time I go to craft a sound muffler, I'm missing like a very basic component of the sound muffler that I just don't happen to have at the moment. But this way, we don't hear that thumping noise. We can put that like right here-ish. Would that be a good place for it? Yeah, see, we don't hear the thump now, which is cool. So isn't this neat? And I can walk right through the ineffable glass. How cool is that? Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And this will probably be ineffable glass too in a minute. So you don't want to let me fly at the moment, do you? Yeah, my GP is going crazy. We'll just put 5 in there. It's fast enough. Doesn't need to be any faster. So that's cool. Enderman's interested in what I'm doing. Dude, it is literally noon. It is literally high noon. Enderman, please. What is going on? What happened to all these grass blocks? That's what I want to know. I have a suspicion that I know what happened to the grass blocks because there's a certain creature, let's say, who likes picking up grass blocks. I'm sure this line was cleared out by my quarry that I did to clear this, but the other grass blocks there, Enderman. Enderman interested in what I'm doing. Dude, come on. Beat it. All right, so, wow, we have a lot of flowers. Look at that. Cool. That is awesome. We're actually getting to the point where we're pretty close to being full. So let's come back in a minute when we are full of all these different types, and then we will see. But if we went down here, for example, we'll see that this thing's at 170, which translates to, by the way, redstone signal of 10, redstone signal of 6, 11, and 11. So, I mean, we're doing pretty good on fullness. We'll be back in a few minutes when these guys are closer to being full. So I did forget something. Yoink, yoink. I need void upgrades in those things. And the reason for that, I need void upgrades in those things. Oh, come on, sticks. Wood, please. I don't need that screwdriver anymore anyway. I didn't want 17 void upgrades, but that's okay. I'll take them. The reason I wanted void upgrades is... 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys will back stuff in their output and then prevent the crafting of further flowers, right? So by putting void upgrades in there, we're good. And by reading the redstone signal, it'll turn off the production. So the production will still turn off because the redstone signal will still output. But what's going to happen is like we did here, right? We filled up on white and orange, so white and orange petals had nowhere to go. And then magenta and light blue weren't being produced anymore because we didn't have room for nothing. So that cleans up that silliness. Beautiful. It's working so well. We'll be back in a minute. I want to see them, before we wrap up the episode, I want this to be all full. And I want to see them all full and be able to say, like, look at it, it's awesome. But wow, a couple of these are actually really close to being full. And that's cool. One of them is. So if we went down here and checked our redstone signal, like, yeah, one of them is. Boom, there it is, the blue one. The blue one, which is the bottom left, is totally full. And we can see that the full one turned off its torch. How cool is that? Boom, power level 14, right? So that's at minus 13 is a 1, so that's working perfectly. Awesome. So in a moment or two, we will see this guy be full, right? Look at him. He's literally 1 lime away on red. So you can see here, he's a redstone signal of 13, which translates to 0. Oh, look, this one just filled up. Boom. Nice. That is cool. This guy just filled up. Red's going to be next, I think. Right? As soon as we get a lime petal, we'll be full on red. So close. So close. Like, I want to check if we have any lime. Nope. It would be cool, though. But red's going to fill up, and then his torch will turn off. It just did. It just happened. We just saw it. Awesome. I love it. I love when things work the way they're supposed to. And now we're just waiting on a whole lot of light blue petals. And then we should be done, right? So everything else is getting voided right now. We have some light blue shimmering mushrooms and some light blue dye, but we don't have any more light blue petals. Come on, buddy. Nice. I like it. How are we for light blue now? Did that help? Am I helping? A little bit. Back in a minute when this is at 64. We're literally 1 light blue petal away. And this thing will turn itself off. So if we come over here, we might even see it happen, right? Keeping an eye out for a light blue petal. And then we're going to wrap up the episode, guys. Because it's wrapping up point soon. As soon as we see a light blue flower get planted, we'll see the machine stop. Is basically what we should expect. Right? So come on, light blue petal. Light blue. Let's go. I think that was it. Wasn't that light blue? It might have been light blue. Or maybe that's light blue. That one might be the light blue one. If that's light blue, then we're done. Oh! Oh! It stopped! Yes! It worked! That is so cool! Ah, I love it. I know I say that a lot, but I do love it when, like, a build like this comes together, right? Like, we implemented multiple mods, right? We're using Botania, we're using storage drawers, we're using Ender IO, we're using Super Circuit Maker, we're using RF tools, right? We're using actually additions, right? Everything came together in such a way as to produce a really cool machine, I think. Like, I dig it. I think it's super neat, right? So all these things are there, right? We did exactly what we expected to see it happen, right? If I steal, for example, a stack or, you know, half a stack, whatever, of gray petals, boom, all of a sudden that redstone signal turns off and it allows the machine to run again, right? And we're planting flowers and pulses are happening and all that good stuff, right? And if I go over here and I say light gray petals or gray petals go back in, the machine is now full and it's stopped. And it all happens perfectly. So that's a wrapping up point for the episode. Darwell20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. We will come back next time. Now that we have literally a really good foundation for Britannia. We still have to automate the Gormalaeus and get some mana going, because now we have access to the petals we need to make the Gormalaeus. Clearly, plenty more to do with Britannia. I'd like to, get in a good spot before we do the world download, which will be next episode. So we'll see how far we get next episode. By the way, we're at 7 billion RF stored. Just pointing that out, because we haven't looked at RF production in a while. But this thing's just cruising, right? He's doing exactly what his job is, which is producing a ton of RF at the cost of Yellorium. How is my Yellorium supply? Not bad. 500 ingots remain. We'll be all right. All right, Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Like I said, take it easy.